Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Concrete Banger is back with our first update on the Suzuki Alto Ni1 works and a mail call. As always, split personalities and parallel universes George will be your host today. And let's start with the mail call first. A couple of weeks ago, Greg from Greg Riley's 1 to 35th scale models reached out to me and he said that he wanted to send me a package as a gift. So I agreed, we exchanged addresses and the package arrived. So inside this package was this 88mm flag gun 36-37 from Tamiya with 9 figures and whatever you see over here in front, the zoomed up and the rest of the gun assembly that together with the kit. Inside the box was 3 different oil paints. Finally, a dark brown wash from Humbrol that I never had one. This weathering pencil from Mr. Hobby. So, thanks a lot, Greg. I really appreciate the gesture. I really appreciate the supplies, and the kit is wonderful. I'm definitely gonna do something with it. For whoever is not familiar with Greg, you should go and check him out. He builds military stuff mainly. He does great job on them. His weathering, his painting, everything is fabulous. He also does some how-to videos, so he has helped me a lot. So he should help you if you watch his videos. I will leave a link to the description below, and you should go and check him out if you are not familiar with him. Now, for our main attraction of this video, as I said, we have the first update on the Suzuki Alto Ni1 works, and so far I have managed to complete the chassis and the interior tab. You guys know the drill. Grab a seat, crack the mandatory cold one because Past George is gonna take over. So guys, welcome to part 1 of the Suzuki Alto works. I have made my coffee, I have my tools ready, and now it is time for us to go. But before I start, here is our first part of the instructions. They state that we need to make the wheels, the roll cage, attach the wheels onto the chassis and detail paint the chassis. What I am going to do, because I don't know if the decals are workable, so I can follow this paint scheme. I'm gonna let the wheels aside and I'm gonna remove the part from the sprues for the roll cage and detail paint the chassis. I'm gonna then assemble the roll cage and leave it aside for a while. Move on to the second step. Do some detail work on the interior tab and onto the seats, and only on the third step we are going to decide if we are going to follow the paint scheme of this car, because onto the third step we have our first decal application, and if one of them works, this means that every one of them will work. Now I'm gonna pause the video right here, remove all the parts from the roll cage assembly, and I'm gonna be back to show you how to put this one together. So I have all the parts for the roll cage cleaned up and ready to go, and although instructions state that this won't be necessary for the assembly of the roll cage, I deem it is. And here is why. This one is the interior tab. All the 6 holes you can see, these 2 and these 4 over here, are locator holes for the roll cage, of course. And here is how I am planning to put the roll cage together without any issues. I'm gonna use this thing as a template, and you're gonna see why. Be careful if you do the same, not to glue the roll cage together, not to glue the roll cage together with the interior tab. So I'm gonna leave the parts aside for a moment, bring this one closer to the camera. Adjust my camera wobbly mode, guys, I'm really sorry about that. Get my glue ready and start putting the parts together. So I'm gonna dry fit them, this one for example. Yes. And I am going to apply glue only over here and not on the bottom, so the part will be still properly positioned but not glued onto the interior tab. Then I'm gonna wait for it to cure, remove the whole roll cage assembly, paint it separately from the interior tab, and have it ready to when it is needed. Let me grab. No. Oh, come on. I know it is a bit fiddly, guys, but bear with me. It will look good at the end, eventually. I'm wreaking havoc. Now I am going to leave it to cure as it is, fiddle with it a little bit more because it needs a little bit more extra adjustment here and there. And as I wait for it to cure, I'm gonna detail paint the chassis. Now, for any one of you that hears the ambient sounds in the background, I'm really sorry, but this is what happens. So I will be back. So guys, as you can see, our roll cage is cured and stiff enough. I can move it aside, nothing happens. And as I was waiting for the glue to cure, I have detail painted the chassis. These two parts all around the engine is gunmetal grey, Andrea blue is the blue, red one is red from Model Air, and the exhaust is steel. And of course the wheel things over here, I cannot remember how you call them, the wheel things over here are anthracite grey, which means that I have finished my job onto the chassis, apart from the weathering aspect, you know, just do some shading and stuff like that. I'm gonna leave this aside for the time being, and I'm going to work on the interior tab. Now, on the interior tab, apart from the roll kit, which is going to be applied later, I need to attach the bucket seat and the co-driver's seat together with the together with the gear shifter knob. Then I'm gonna need to paint it, do some flocking on the floor, and then attach the seats and stuff like that. So I am going to attach the gear shift knob first, and I'm gonna do it on camera because I don't know why. Funny thing is that this kit has stuff like this one, so it should clip in place, but I am applying glue. I don't wanna risk it. So now I'm gonna detail paint everything and do my flocking, apply the flocking material on the floor, detail paint both of the seats and attach them all. One other thing about the seats is that the co-driver's seat has this gap over here in the back, which as you can see I have filled with Tamiya epoxy putty, and I used Tamiya epoxy putty because it does not shrink and it's gonna help me fill the void easier. Now when this one cures, I'm gonna sand the two mold marks over here and I'm gonna continue. So guys, I skipped quite some steps ahead. Here is the interior tab finished. I have flocked it and detail painted the rear seat. One other thing I wanted to show you is that I have this part of the rear seat, that's the back piece, but if I install it then the roll cage won't fit in place. So if you put the interior tab onto the chassis, you can see straight through it. That's why I have painted this portion black, so no visibility of white. Another thing that I have done off camera, of course, was to paint the bucket seat and the co-driver seat. Colors I have used for everything was, for the red I have used this red from Vallejo, 71003 red, RLM 23. For the seats, the co-driver and the rest of the seats, I have used dark gray 71123 and neutral gray 7992. For the racing harness, I have used Andrea blue 7841. And finally, before I start putting pieces together, look, Flying Dutchman came by to say hello. He's gonna stay here, help us with the lighting, together with his crab. Okay, I have decided to paint the roll cage pink because I like bright and vibrant colors in cars in general, so pink it is. And this pink is 7958 pink. So right now what we are going to do in front of camera, I'm gonna attach everything apart the dashboard. So let's start. Give me a moment to grab my bearings. Okay, let's start with the seats first. Let me move the camera so we can have a better view. First we attach the co-driver seat. Like this. Then we move on to the driver's seat, like this, and probably I will need to hold it in place until it cures. No, that's fine. And finally we attach the roll cage. So our interior tab, it's gonna look like this. I'm gonna glue the roll cage off camera because it needs I will need to get in there, and right now I have the camera in front of me. So that's the interior tab almost finished. I'm gonna leave this aside, and now we are going. Okay, we have a driver as well, and the co-driver. Co-driver is a ninja. Okay, and now we are going to move on to the dashboard assembly. We have these 4 pieces. Moment of truth. Of course, I'm gonna attach whatever piece I can right now. And I have of course chosen the most sporty steering wheel. Now what my intentions are for the next stage, I will detail paint everything, and before I attach it onto the interior tab, I am going to apply my first decal. If everything works out okay with this decal, we are going to have a straight out of the box build with a box art. If something goes south, I'm gonna do a custom. So guys, I am back. I have finished my work on the dashboard. Here it is, if you wanna take a closer look on it. It is a simple paint job. Okay, I may need to touch up this one a little bit more, but it's gonna be done. I have tried the decals and they are as I have expected. They are toast. They fall into pieces the moment they touch the water. So we are going on full custom, and I am happy with it because I need to be honest with you guys, I needed an excuse to make this car as a full custom. So since I have no decal for the gauges, I have painted it black. Anyway, nobody either way was going to see it. And now I am going to attach the whole thing into the interior tab. Probably. Okay. Okay. This one was push fit, and I think that right now it's in position. This is how it is supposed to look like. So let me apply some glue sparingly here and there. And now we are going to attach the interior tab onto the chassis. So in order to do that, we have those four polycap bushings over here that we need to insert over here in these places. And of course we have to push fit the whole assembly like before. Most of this car is a push fit assembly, to be honest. I'm just applying glue because I want to be extra sure and safe. So as you can see, we have 4 knobs and they're gonna go inside the bushings. Ooh, this one is tight. Okay. Sorry guys, I know that I'm doing it off camera, but I need to take a closer look. And we have the interior tab and the chassis ready. Okay, chassis needs a little bit more weathering. Now I am going to wrap this episode up, since our next step will be the body work and my custom paint job or something like that, because I need to think of what I need to do. Anyway, this is all for this episode. I'm really having fun with this small car kit, and I hope you do so as well. So here is a closer final look of it. Over here we have the chassis. And over here once again we have the interior, the flashy interior. And that's gonna wrap our first episode up. Here is the remains of the decal. So, and now we're gonna, as I said, we are gonna wrap the first episode up. In our next episode we are going to work on we're gonna do all the body work. So Past George is signing out. See you guys the next time. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of our first update. As I said, the interior tab of the Suzuki Alto is finished and the chassis. Okay, I may do some weathering on it. Anyway, on our second update we are gonna do some work on the car body. I hope that you guys found this video helpful and interesting and stick along for the next one. Before I go, I wanna thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to my old subscribers. You guys are the best and you are the reason I keep doing these videos. For the newcomers out there, welcome guys. I hope that you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe that it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers and friends, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon, signing out.